we went ahead and discussed 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Okay, so remember as we just discussed, our learning target is what? Does anyone remember? It's to use supportive details, right? Use details from the poem to support your theme. So I went ahead and went through steps 1 through 3. You can go ahead and go through steps 1 through 3 in your head today, as we're not focusing on those steps. And then I wrote my theme, and then I made a space to list my 2 supportive details. Now remember, my 2 supportive details were, I just put them on a sticky note. You can do that. You can write them in your journal. Either way is fine. But remember, my supportive details were, maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it fester like a sore, right? So those were the 2 details I used. So now that we've gone through and I found a theme and I've listed 2 details, from within the poem, I have a specific way that I want you guys to write out your step 5 for today. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. It's going to be a paragraph that looks like this. And first, you're just going to state your theme. So the theme is to stick with your dreams because you will regret giving them up later. Right? That's the theme I determined from the poem. So I'm just going to put that as my first sentence. My second sentence will start with the author writes in line, and then you fill in the blank there. In line whatever. I put in line 6. Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Then I wrote a sentence that explains why this supports my theme. So I put this supports my theme because regrets can be very heavy. So then I go into my next detail. The author also writes in line 3, or fester like a sore. This also supports my theme because regrets can create sore spots in your heart. These lines help me determine and support my theme. So this format right here is exactly what I'm going to expect to see in your independent work for today for step 5. Because remember, that's really our focus for today, right? Using supportive details. So this is how I want you to express that you know how to do that. So now we're going to move on to another poem. It's another Shel Silverstein poem. I know you guys really like the other ones.
Wait, is this the one we're doing step 4 and 5?
Is he also good?
This is one we're going to do together. We're going to do this one together, and then there is one you will be doing the steps by yourself. Okay, so go ahead and read that quietly at your table. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read it out loud once. So how many, how much? By Shel Silverstein. How many slams in an old screen door? Depends how loud you shut it. How many slices in a bread? Depends how thin you cut it. How much good inside a day? Depends how good you live 'em. How much love inside a friend? Depends how much you give 'em. Okay, so for our activity that we're going to do together, I've already went ahead and went through steps 1 through 3, like I said, in my head. And then I went ahead and came up with a theme that we're going to use to find supportive details for. So, does anyone want to read me what I put for our theme? Kylie. Right there at step 4.
You have to be willing to give in order to get.
Right, you have to be willing to give in order to get. That's the theme I got from this poem. You might have gotten something else, but that's the theme we're going to work on for this activity. So I want you to go ahead and turn to a blank page in your Reader's Response Journal. And you're going to write just like I did at the top here, RL 1.2, and how many, how much, so that we know what we're writing about. And then you can go ahead and write 1 through 3. You can just leave them blank. You cannot write them at all. But make sure you write 4 in the theme that I've chosen that we're going to work on today. Yes, Mohammed.
So is this the one that you have to print this one to do?
We're gonna go through and find supportive details together. We're gonna write a paragraph together, and then I have another poem that you guys are gonna do that by yourself.
So I only do it till 4?
Yeah, we're just right now, we're writing out what step 4 is, just the theme, just that one sentence really quickly. Okay, so once you've written that theme, and do you guys still need this to be here? Okay. Alright, so the theme is on the sticky note, so you guys can see it and the poem at the same time. Okay, so if you continue writing for step 4, that's fine. I'll just gonna continue to explain what we're gonna do today in our groups, and then what we're gonna do together, me and all of you. So I want you to briefly discuss in your groups the theme I've chosen. And then I want you to find one supportive detail that your group can agree on all together, and you're just going to work at your tables as a group. And you're going to find one supportive detail you can agree on together to support this theme from the poem. And so I just want you to write that under where you put step 4 in your journal, and then right next to it, the word group, because that's going to tell me that that's the one your group came up with. And then I want you on your own to look at the poem and think about another supportive detail that you could find by yourself. And then when you're done, just go ahead and put your hands on your head. And then we're going to move on to writing a paragraph together. Okay? So once you've written the theme, you can go ahead and start discussing in your groups one supportive detail that you guys can agree on together.
No, because how many slams, how many slices? He's right. He's right by this. How many slams?
Remember, we're on syllable 1 for our discussion.
It depends how long you play. So the more you give, the more you get. Oh, I get.
Write 5, and then you're going to write one supportive detail you guys can agree on together. You're using the given theme to find one supportive detail in your group. Did you guys discuss one or on the one that you're doing on your own? So go ahead and start working on the
Because she told us to.
That's fine. Voice level 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. The voice level is getting a little loud. I need you to return to a voice level 1, please. So continue discussing. George and figure out how to work together. Yesterday. Figure out how to set aside
I don't know.
you guys still need to decide one that you
How much read it? Read what? You keep saying I don't yeah, this is the productive one. That's better. No, that's better.